Hello, YouTube. This is a Pokemon Black and White Wi-Fi battle video presented to you by the Pokemon man Skyfire. This battle is against LJ16 from the Pokemon Wi-Fi room. And you want to know where this room is at, this chat room where you can battle people on Pokemon and trade stuff like that. You'll see a link on the description. Of course, it's on Zot.com. His team was pretty much all OU. Well, at least somewhat already, because I didn't really know what Archeops was, but I'm assuming it might be OU, it might be not, I'm not sure, but of course mine's having to be randoms. As you can see, me bringing in my Myers, my Huntail. Huntail is beginning to be one of my favorite Pokemon, to be honest, because of something it did in the last battle that was kind of like something that another Pokemon did. But anyway, he starts with the Earthquake, takes about half. I go for the Shell Smash, raise up my stats. My White Herb restores the defenses that it had. And then the Waterfall comes in, and I'm going to pretty much one-hit KO the Archeops because it is a +2 stab Waterfall that's super effective. And oh yeah, Archeops has low defenses. So the Dragonite comes in, and I was thinking, Dragonite has multi-scale. And even with the ice thing, it's a +2 times 4 super effective, but it didn't kill it. I was like, great. So that's half of 4 of 2, which is still 4. Another shot that really didn't kill it. Oh well. So I bring in my Lily as my Pachirisu after Myers was fainted with the Dragon Claw Dragonite. I was like, great. I really didn't want to deal with Dragonite and its extreme speed, which Lily has to deal with, but at least it has Charm. And by the end, I was like, okay, so at least for the most part, Lily probably won't get down to red after a second extreme speed, and I was right. So the extreme speed did come in, and I was pretty happy at that. So Dragonite pretty much killed itself after that, and I tried to go for a Charm, and it really didn't do much. So oh well. So Blissey comes in. I was like, what is this Blissey gonna do against a Pachirisu that really doesn't do much? So I randomly just went for the Thunder Wave to at least paralyze the Blissey, and it goes for Toxic. So I'm like, okay, we're just doing status effects for this turn. I found it pretty funny because Lily only has 100 points of damage, and even if it does recover with leftovers, it's not really going to last too much anyway, because all I needed Lily to do was to get Blissey down to about half HP, which, well, after the super thing, it put down to that much. Now I'm thinking 718, half of that would be what, a 369, which is probably what Blissey has now. So what was this Blissey thinking using another Toxic? That I was gonna switch out? Folks should know me like that, but oh well. So he withdraws Blissey, brings it thus far. But the funny thing about it is, I ended up misclicking Thunder Wave because I really didn't know what that Blissey was going to do. But he switched in, and it must have been one of the strangest, the strangest predictions ever, because I really misclicked on Thunder Wave. I really did. It must be a subconscious prediction, because that was a really random Thunder Wave that I did. But not like it mattered, because it was going to go for Shallow Sneak anyway, so it's a priority movie. But I live with 3 HP, like really, Pachirisu? Yo, what's this? What's this stuff? 6 times I've actually had single digit HP that's higher than 0? 3? I don't know, but the toxic damage pretty much put down the Pachirisu. So I'm like, okay. I bring in Merriman, that's my Girafarig. He comes back in with Blissey. I'm assuming he's trying the Toxic and Shadow Sneak and everything like that to use priority moves and status effects to use it, but that really didn't work out too much for Merriman because I already knew what was going to be planned. So with the Blissey, I just went for the side shot because of the fact that I already know that it's either going to be Skarmory Blisseys kind of tend to hate ones like Giraffe Rig because of the fact that I use a special move that uses a physical defense, or it focuses on the opponent's physical defense, and an actual special move. Once he realized that I had Side Shock, I knew he switched back to Dusknoir, which is what he did, so I just went for another Side Shock because, at least for the fact that it's going to take about 30, maybe 33%, so at least I have time to like 3-hit KO it. Because I'm not sure if it carries Protect or anything, but I do know this thing carries Pain Split, and I really wasn't going to try to use another Side Shot because it would take Giraffe Rig down to a point where we only have 2 or 3 moves left in order to use the move. And I predicted the Pain Split, and with that I only lost 16 points of damage with that. So that was a very, very smart move of me because I didn't want to have Giraffe Rig down to about less HP than I expected. So I went in for the Side Shock this time, knowing that Pain Split really wouldn't matter too much, but I get the Parry Hacks, and that pretty much puts me in a very, very, very good position to take down the Dusknoir. So when I look at the damage, I figured I only had about 2 or maybe 3 moves left in order to keep Giraffe Rig in. I went for another Side Shot. The Dusknoir is gone. That was one of my problems that I needed off. And I was like, oh, I looked at 9 HP and like, really, I have 1 left? So he brings back in Blissey. And I went for another Side Shot, knowing that I've already +1 and it should be able to take down the Blissey. So the 2 biggest walls in the Blissey and Dusknoir were taken down by Giraffe Rig. I was like, awesome. Even though Merriman thinks, Merriman did what I wanted to do. So I was happy at that. Here comes Temperance. That's my Pinsir, and he brings in the Rotom-W. I was like, I don't know what to expect because I missed a move that I wanted to do. So it goes for the trick. I'm like, yeah. I get a Choice Scarf, and it gets an Expert Belt. Not like it really mattered too much because I went for the Sword Stance, and that's a pretty big goof. Now, I had wondered if I was stuck with Sword Stance, so I just decided to switch and bring in my Kadif. That's my shiny Salk. That's one of my newest of shinies, and it goes for the Will-O-Wisp. I'm like, great, just what Kadif needed. A burn. I wish Knif learned the Guts. It would have made things a little bit better for me to use Bulk Up. But it certainly goes for the Volt Switch, and I'm like, yeah, that's not really going to work for anything for Knif. So, unfortunately, Knif is gone. Oh, that was a critical. I was like, great, just not what I needed. I mean, literally, because I really, really hated that it got. So here comes Meloetta. I'm like, oh god, do I have this normal psychic or normal fighting? I went randomly for Temperance back again with my Pinsir, and since I was scarfed, thank you, Rotom, I get the X-Scissor off, and luckily, Pinsir 1-hit KO the Meloetta. I'm like, really? And so with that, it was down to Rotom, and unfortunately he forfeited, so that's like good game to LJ16. I was very, very happy at my Pinsir. Very, very happy. Thank you, Temperance. Rate, comment, subscribe, people. Good game to LJ16. Skyfire saying, have a nice day. See you next time.